We like to start every episode with the disclaimer that we are not professionals. Our conversations are solely based on our personal experiences, thoughts, and opinions. Nothing discussed here is meant to be taken as professional mental health or medical advice. If you have questions or need assistance, please seek the help of a licensed professional.
Discussions in this podcast may sometimes revolve around heavy material such as abuse, grooming, religious trauma, and more. Please listen with caution and prioritize your mental health first.
Welcome to Trauma Bondage,
the podcast where we talk about trauma, kinks, and non-traditional lifestyles and relationships from a queer lens.
We're your hosts,
Brigitte
and Beth. Hi, we're your hosts.
Like that again. You're doing this. Hi.
It's my
I'm just like hi.
my pageant wave. I was forced to do pageants when I was younger, from the ages of 16 to 18, and I literally hated everyone. I hated all the pageant girls. I didn't talk to them. I didn't make friends.
I was the same way.
I thought they were so annoying.
I was also a debutante.
Yikes.
Yeah, National Charity League can suck my dick.
Who sucked your dick?
No, I said the National Charity League can suck my dick.
The National Charity
At least
League.
the girls that were in it doing National Charity League. I'm sure National Charity League is fine, but...
You just shouldn't put dark complected dom femmes in a room with blonde pageant or debutante women
that will grow to be sorority girls that turn into trophy wives.
It doesn't mix well.
And then fuck their Pilates instructors. That wasn't specific or anything.
We haven't even introed ourselves yet.
Hi, I'm Brigitte.
I'm Beth.
The reason or the brainchild that is this episode came to light based on a listener request that we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also the reason why we are calling this episode Tummy Time. The goal is to talk about kinks, fetishes, things that are just outside of maybe like what you would consider the box, the norm.
Yeah.
A little non-traditional. Things that don't fall in like your immediate thought path of kink, fetish, BDSM, stuff like that. Like, it's not the things that you're like, oh, that. Not, oh, you like to be hit. Mm-hmm. Oh, you like to get tied up. Oh, you like to get blindfolded.
You like handcuffs.
It's things just a little bit, little like removed.
Left of center.
Yeah, left of center.
Yeah.
I like that. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But the reason we call it Tummy Time, the reason this came to fruition in general and we thought would be fun to talk about a little bit was we had a lovely request from a listener who is in a relationship with someone and they are very into belly buttons and like tummy play. And this listener is just very, very nervous about doing these things because he's never experienced it before. She wants to, like lick his belly button. She wants to make out with the belly button. She wants to eat food off of it. She wants to do like tickle play a little bit, like blow raspberries. I guess they call them zerberts in the UK.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cute.
Which is fun. But yeah, like just a little bit of tummy play. Bless him. He has an outie belly button that he's a little bit self-conscious about.
Which outies are beautiful too.
Yeah. So
no need to shame.
Oh no, like they're normal.
Yeah.
Fun fact about belly buttons.
Here we go.
So outie belly buttons are not as common as you'd think. However, I feel still like I've known enough people in my life with outies that it's never even occurred to me that they're not as common. About 90% of people on Earth have an innie, and about 10% have an outie.
But you still ask people, like, what do you have? Because it's like, it's always a toss-up.
Innie and outie, like, because it's a toss-up. Like, I know lots of people, so I'm like, okay, like, the 10% is actually probably a little bit larger. I mean, what kind of survey are we doing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Belly buttons. But it's all based on, like, how your umbilical cord, like, heals after birth, and it's going to vary on every single person. Yeah. I personally hate my belly button. You have, like, a very cute little lovely one and like the anatomy for a belly button piercing. I do not.
You have a black hole?
I have a black fucking hole. Like it's not a black hole, but I can't get my belly button pierced because I don't have like that little navel piece that like where it holds it.
Yeah.
It's just skin. Like it's just, it's like my stomach. And like, it's like just deep. Like it's poke it.
For somebody that likes tummy time, though, that could be amazing.
I think if that was like my fetish, or like somebody had a fetish for it, I think I'd have the perfect one. Yeah, I'd have the perfect one for it, because like this girl also wants to like poke it, prod it, like do all these things. So yeah, I guess getting that kind of a request just to talk about things are maybe a little bit outside of the norm, but also how to communicate with your partner about things like that kind of got the gears turning on different things. Like they're a little different, and things that we've experienced and also just things that we know about and all of that. So I guess for that listener, my first order of business, first homework for you would be practice some self-love when it comes to your body physically. You love the body you have, not the body you want. I think that was the conversation that we had with Brandon our first season. You just have one. It doesn't make you like different or odd or anything. And if your partner is excited to be with you and wants to do these things with you, that's not going to deter them. No.
I think, like, honestly, if your partner is asking you for this, that means that, like, whatever they've seen in that area, which I'm assuming they've probably seen that area, they're attracted to.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you're not attracted to that part of yourself, that's okay.
Yeah.
Kind of put yourself in their shoes and realize, like, they wouldn't ask for that if they didn't really find that part of you super sexy and they wanted to explore that with you. So, and honestly, like, engaging in it could help you love that part of yourself more. That's something I found with, like, exploring kinks, like, literally, like, any part of the body that's maybe a little bit, like, taboo or whatever, if you explore it a little bit more, get comfortable with it, you feel less self-conscious of it.
Yeah. And even if they haven't seen that part of you, either way, like, it's part of you. They love you for you. It's not about your body. Like, it's not
any outie, like, I can't imagine someone cares about that.
But I know communicating with them around that, whether they've seen it or not, I think if you are self-conscious about it, say that openly. Be like, if you're willing to engage in play with them in this and you're wanting to, which it sounds like you are, just be open and let them know that you're self-conscious, that it may take you a little bit to get comfortable in the moment, and maybe establish some like guidelines, like maybe some safe, like red, yellow, green of comfortability, so that she can also be safe in the moment while also still having a good time. Y'all can try different things together. You can agree what you're going to try on. One of the questions was also, I guess, like, giving it back, like, how does he do a good job at, like, blowing on tummies? Because he was like, I haven't done that, like, and I haven't had somebody blow on my tummy since I was a baby.
Practice makes perfect, baby. Just try it.
Yeah. Pretend here's the thing. Put your mouth on the tummy and pretend like you're blowing up a balloon.
Yeah. It's simple.
Hard.
I think a lot of the things that people overthink in the beginning of exploring kinks, you realize, like, it's not that hard. It's more just about comfortability. Like, you really just have to get comfortable and make sure, like, you create a safe space with your partner to do that. And, like, also you need to have the space to be like, oh, I'm not really liking this. Like, I want to step away.
Say no if you're not digging it. And here's the thing is, like, give some room and grace, because trying a new thing, especially when it's just a little bit outside of your comfort zone to begin with, but just like maybe outside of the box of what like you're used to and other things, it's going to feel silly.
Yeah.
It's going to feel silly.
It's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
This is what I found. Like, some things
it's
that when you're
fun.
doing, even role play. Like, I've role played before where I've just like died laughing in the middle of it. Yeah. It's okay to like have a good time with it. It doesn't have to be like so like serious and sexual the entire time. Like, it can be fun and it can also be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're exploring it together. The fun part is that you're doing it together and seeing what works for you.
Yeah.
So
have you ever been with somebody that's had like a tummy kink?
I don't know if it would have fallen into tummy kink. I think it falls along like she really wants to like eat food off of his belly button. I have had a partner in the past that specifically only this food, pineapple, only wanted to eat pineapple off my navel, and that's it.
That's so specific.
That's it.
Did they just really like pineapple?
I guess. I don't know. I'd never seen them eat it otherwise. So
it was the belly button. It was pineapple combo,
and that's fine. Like, like whatever. Like I've had, you know, people done whipped cream and chocolate sauce, which honestly is not my personal favorite because it's so freaking sticky. But it's sensory. I don't like to be sticky.
I would do it in the shower, I think. It runs off immediately after.
I don't know, maybe. But like, I've had food. I've had sushi eaten off of me. Which I was like, can you feed me some of it? Because I love sushi.
Like, I'm kind of actually, can you put some spicy mayo on my tits? Dip. Feed. Thank you. That would be my request.
I got some sashimi for you right here.
Literally. I would, yeah. I would want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody like specifically ask to eat food off of me.
Well, that was like a common thing too. Like that like really was the turn on. I was like, all right.
Okay.
Like,
you
don't
need what
care.
you need.
Sure, let's go. Like if that makes you happy.
We've talked about this before, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, if it's turning your partner on, it usually turns you on when it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something that's like directly like hurting you or traumatizing you because you're like triggered by it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, like a lot of these things, it's like, it might not be like your personal cup of tea that you would choose out of like a list of things. But if it's like something that's turning your partner on,
yeah,
you might get something out of it.
But don't nibble on my ears. It's just going to be crunchy.
Yeah, Bridget doesn't like that.
I have so many piercings.
If you want to nibble on ears, you can nibble on mine because I like it.
I don't like it.
I like it mostly like right here though.
Oh,
under
neck. Yes.
Yeah.
Actual earlobe where I have earrings and lots of piercings.
Yeah.
And it literally, I hear just like, no.
You're giving horse. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
You know?
Anyways, perfectly okay. They're your partner. They want to be with you. They want to play with you and do this, and they've communicated that to you. So now you can communicate to them where you're feeling, where your boundaries lie, what you're willing to try, and establishing some kind of way to be able to step back and say, hey, actually, I don't want to do this without it causing a rift. And then you also asked us what kind of belly buttons we have. We both have innies. But they're entirely different belly buttons.
Every belly button I've ever seen is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Entirely different.
Mine is like a shallow innie, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Deep enough for a belly button ring.
Deep.
It's not that deep.
Mine apparently has just dug its way to China. So,
it's the black hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love it.
To put like a pencil on it and just hold it.
Ooh, you could. That's a weapon.
I could stab people.
I was just thinking that. Come back later. Bridget's gonna have a belly button.
No. Just
piercing. That's
just a knife.
Fucking knife.
Just a spike coming out of my
that
stomach. Like the troll dolls with the little gems in their belly buttons.
That's got to be somebody's kink.
Done.
Somebody likes that somewhere.
Except I sleep on my tummy, so that won't be comfortable.
Oof. No. Don't stab yourself, please. I need you around.
Okay.
So
Speaking of stabbing yourself.
Speaking of stabbing.
Poking.
Yeah, let's talk about sharp objects.
Yeah.
So I have personal experience with this like non-traditional set of kinks because I had a partner that was like very into sharp objects. Very.
I have also had partners very into like
poking.
Not just like knife play, but like like puncturing even.
Yes.
Like poking. Yeah.
I had a partner that had like a little pick almost that was like very sharp where if you even just like lightly tapped, like it would draw blood.
Yeah.
And they used it to carve things on me. They loved that. They had the Wartenberg wheel, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's a little like...
It looks like a spur.
It looks like a spur on like a little handle.
Yeah.
And it literally wheels.
Like ice rollers for your face, but think of it as like a very sharp spur for your body.
They had a necklace that was barbed wire and they liked to like whip me with it. Mm-hmm. Literally felt like Jesus sometimes, you know.
What the fuck?
The cat of nine tails, you know.
What is it?
The crown of thorns.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I had moments where I was like, wow, I wonder if this is what it felt like.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it. And I'm doing this willingly. It was not necessarily something that I had ever tried or like suggested, but it was something they wanted to do. So, and ironically, they were into sharp things and we never used a knife ever. So that's funny. But a lot of people are into that. Like in the hardcore BDSM world.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp objects are like God. Like there are websites that you can go on and they basically just have tools for that specifically. It's a big like...
You have to kind of know what you're looking for.
Sadist dom thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Which means you have to have gone down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. Gotta know
a little bit further past just... I'm gonna tie you up and blindfold you.
Yeah.
Like,
I will disclaimer this, and we disclaimered this before when we talked about knife play. Please do not like do any of this stuff unless you have like training on it. Like, go to somebody that's done it before, or do your research before you like start poking people.
oh yeah, don't,
Because there are some
inflict actual damage.
Yeah. There are some
If you're
parts of
not
your
ready
body
to
that
deal
if
with
you
the
cut them, you could be
consequences.
going to the hospital.
Yeah. You need to be very, not only well versed in everything surrounding it, but the safety surrounding it as well. Safety is number one.
Yes.
Number one.
Well, speaking of sharp objects, blood. Want to talk about blood play?
Yes, blood play. Well, I mean, this goes back to like my vampire bar days too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because there's an intersection of vampire, queer, kinky individuals. It's basically all of them. Yeah. Literally all of them. But Brigitte has experience in this world. I've dated somebody that was in this world. It's intense.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a blood ritual before?
Yes, to an extent.
I did like a blood ritual before, and it was very intense. It was almost like a spiritual experience to a level where it felt like I was literally like, I feel like I'm in church right now, but like witchy church.
I have done that,
loved it.
but it was like in one of the vampire bars, and I was also high as a kite on ecstasy.
Okay, well, I don't recommend that specifically.
Yeah.
I did one in a controlled environment. It was a blood sex ritual under a full moon, and it was
that sounds fun.
Great.
That sounds really fun. See, the thing is, like, I can get on board with blood play.
Yeah.
For the most part. For the most part. Let me caveat that. In like the world that I was in there for a while, and this was like a while back, so things have probably changed in terms of like the culture and everything like that. But like these that I would go to, like they would specifically, like people would have partners and they would specifically like puncture. There were some people that had their teeth like shaved down to points to be able to puncture naturally, or would have like metal, like the casings that would go on that were kind of like the pokey thing that you're talking about with your partner, that were sharp enough to puncture so that they would draw blood. And it did not necessarily have to be on your neck, because that's kind of a safety zone. Like if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they can there's major arteries there. Yeah. But like arms and stuff like that. Just anywhere they could draw blood and then actually like suck from it directly. There would be times where they would want to puncture and then like fill vials, and they would like actually wear the vial around their neck. That was like one of the ones that was more of a ritual. Yeah. And that's also part of like an ownership kink as well with blood play a lot of the time. I would much prefer somebody cut as opposed to puncture. Puncturing kind of freaks me out for whatever reason. And it's not that I have that, what is it, the phobia with holes or whatever. I don't have that phobia, but just like, I've never liked needles all that much. Okay. So I don't, like, I kind of equate it to the same thing, because it's almost the same. Yeah. I don't want it entering. In your vein. Yeah.
I get that. I think I'm scared of, with knives puncturing, I'm scared of them going too deep.
Yes.
And causing a huge gash.
Yes. I would much rather have just like a light thing, or even on my hand is fine. Like,
I would do fingers.
Yeah. I don't like fingers that much, but that's trauma. Thanks, Mom. But like, I'm fine with it. Like, I've had it where like they wanted to like cut here and they just like sucked here, and I liked that. Like, that was fun.
I've only ever done it with menstrual blood. I've never let somebody like cut me. But I've let somebody.
Some people are really into the menstrual blood. They're like, oh, blood kink, and then it's like Red Wings. Yeah. Which is
everywhere
when you go down on somebody that's on their period. I've had like instances where I like participated in something that I wasn't aware of, because like they started their period at the same time as everything was happening, and I was like, oh, okay, and then just like kept going.
Well, sometimes sex can trigger your period depending on what you're doing.
Definitely.
So that happens.
So yeah, and then I've dated, quote unquote dated briefly, somebody who was like very into blood play. So it was like a common theme, like they would track my cycle. So that
I dated somebody like that too.
See me specifically for these things.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's like they wanted to know the second you were on your period.
Believe me, I have stories. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it off camera.
That's my spicy trauma. We'll talk. No, it's my spicy trauma.
Oh, your spicy trauma.
About it, as regards to that. Like, I don't have an issue with it, but there are some things that I'm just like, No.
Too far. Too far.
So,
but I will say with blood kinks too, and like blood play, again, you have to be careful. Blood is the like one thing that like 100% if you had anything, like you would pass it through blood.
Yes.
So you have to
Sexual
be
health.
Very careful about hygiene. Yeah. Again.
Sexual health with any bodily fluid, period.
Yeah.
You have to consider. If you are involving any fluid, you have to consider the sexual health.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. No choice. If you don't, then you have to suffer the consequences. And
sometimes they're not great.
They're not great.
So with blood play, we've also talked about this before, but there's piss kinks.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this in previous episodes.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to talk about it a lot, but it is something that I feel like is not as common.
And defecation.
Defecation is also.
Yeah. I'm not on board with defecation, but
not sanitary.
People like to do that. I don't know if I've talked about this before. There was a guy who Pavloved himself to shit every time he came because he would jack off every time he went to the bathroom, like to take a poo. Yeah. So like it was on Reddit.
Everything is on Reddit.
And he was like with a girl for the first time in like a really, really long time. And he came and he shit. And then freaked out because he realized that he had like dropped a major turd on her floor, and she like didn't know what was going on, and he like grabbed his clothes and just like sprinted out the door naked after shitting on the floor. He like came in her, shat on her floor, and ran.
All right, so lesson learned.
Maybe don't do that.
Jack off while you're taking.
I mean,
shit.
if you're into it, like, well, the Pavlov thing, like, it was an accident. Like, he didn't realize he had Pavloved himself until the moment was there.
Pavloving.
But like, talk to people about it. That is one that like people are gonna say yes or no. Like that's gonna be a yes or no. There's not gonna be like a maybe. Piss kinks are a little bit different, but the defecation one is
shit is not sterile. There's a lot more like health risks that come with that.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is. It's stuff. I mean, you guys know middle school, 2 girls, 1 cup.
2 girls, 1 cup.
God. That didn't come from nowhere.
It will never
came
go
from
away.
Somebody having a kink.
Yeah. But yeah, piss kinks are pretty normal. In orifices a lot of the time, or just on you. It's like marking territory.
Breeding kink.
Okay, but actually I have this one. I have this one.
I do too.
But like I don't want the baby.
We don't want the baby. Kill it with fire. But we want the idea of being forced to be impregnated. Yeah. I like that too.
There's a horror movie that surrounds this actually. It's like a man who like loses his wife, and so he brings like women home and like ties them up and like inseminates them with it so he can have the baby that they lost when his wife died. And it's like a breeding kink. And I was watching that movie and I was like, why do I like this?
Yeah, you're feeling kind of guilty.
Why would I be fine with this? I was like,
why do I want that to be me?
I was like, okay, this is new. We're learning things. All right.
Oh my God. So I have a friend who recently started dating this guy, and she's been pretty vanilla in like past relationships. And so she hasn't like explored a lot of things yet up until recently. She also has always said, I do not want children, like anti-kid, whatever. She calls me and she's like, I think I want to have this man's kids. Like, I literally want him to get me pregnant. Yeah. I was like, babe, you don't want kids. You just have a breeding kink.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. I was like, it's okay. But it's so important to know that before you actually get pregnant, you might just have a breeding kink.
Yeah. Maybe do some self-reflection
Can we talk about what it is? Because we didn't really give like an explanation.
Go for it.
Okay. So a breeding kink is literally exactly what it sounds like, where you want somebody to force you to let them come inside you and get you pregnant. That's it. Yep. That's pretty much it.
It's so interesting. Like some of the men that I've talked to in the past that like, they like that I have a dominant edge, and that is part of it. Like they have the breeding kink where they want to be forced to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they want to be forced to, but then of course they're like, I don't actually want the kid. They're like, can I watch you take like the morning after pill? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But but I also have it with women in the strap.
No, I do too.
I'm like, yeah, put a baby in me. You can't, but like you should try.
You can't. It's more fun when they like can't.
Yeah.
Like, there's no risk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have this too. I've never tried it. Well, that's not true. I've tried it with 2 different people and I loved it both times. It's a regular date night activity. Breeding kink. It's actually really common for women.
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Almost every woman that I've talked to about this has been like, oh yeah, me too.
Cool.
It's common. I think
Good.
it's biologically driven, to be honest with you.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like a nature aspect that comes out where it's like you're just drive to like procreate.
Yeah.
That it comes out.
No, that makes sense.
So
I get that.
that's a pretty common kink, but is seen as, I think, a little taboo.
Yes.
What else? Foot fetish.
Foot fetishes.
So we're talking about kinks and fetishes, by the way. So this one is really, I think if anybody thinks of like fetishes, they think of foot fetishes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to your mind. But when I hear people talk about it, they're always like, oh, hee, foot fetish, ew, gross. Like it's kind of
people don't realize
like,
the variations of foot fetish. So like there are people who just they're really into really big feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like women's size 13, 14, they love big feet and they want to see big feet. Or they want to see you stepping. Dancer feet, like with the fucked up toes because they're in point shoes all day. They want to see you put nylons on and off of your feet and just like take socks off or try shoes on or get a pedicure, just getting like self-care done. They like want to see it happen. There's I know there's a girl who makes a killing off of requests of stepping on food. Like she had to buy a box of donuts and they wanted to watch her step on the donuts. And then they wanted to watch her keep one nice donut that she hadn't stepped on and get on the floor and eat it. Like that was the video. It was 3 minutes long and she made like $800.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll step on donuts for $800.
Absolutely.
I love donuts.
I literally have a friend who works with a group of other women that have like
professional
an event
doms. Yeah.
that they put on. It's a foot fetish event. Men come, they pay. It's not like anything crazy. They just have their feet and the men like caress them, they touch them.
I want to participate with that.
I think I would do it too.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I love, so I have whatever the receiving end of a foot fetish is. I love to have my feet played with.
Yeah.
I love to have like honestly anything done. I'm not like, oh, I need to be the one. Like I don't really have the foot fetish, but I like to be on the receiving end.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not opposed to being on the receiving end.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all of those variations, and then you have like some people who like really like tattoos on the feet, or specifically like them to be completely clean. Some people have them where like they want the toenails to be like weird. And then you have like where like you have some people that want to rub the feet or play with the toes. And then you get into like the sucking and biting and stuff like that. And that's where people go, like because they don't want to suck on toes. But that tells me you don't have a foot fetish. That's fine. You don't have to suck on the fucking toes. Like you can suck on something else. Like,
or nothing.
Or nothing. But there was back when Craigslist had personal ads, because obviously now the personal ads are gone because of the Craigslist killer. How dare you?
Forgot about that.
Yes. I love true crime, guys. There was an ad for this man who specifically just wanted to give you like foot rubs and like maybe play with your feet and maybe suck on your toes for like a little extra. Yeah. Kind of like that. But you would choose whatever movie you want to go see. He would buy you your ticket and like send it to you digitally at the time, because this was like before the apps. Showing my age. But like send it to you digitally. And you would go to the movie theater and you would sit and like you like he would send you money ahead of time to buy like popcorn or whatever the fuck you wanted. And you would sit in the back of the theater. And then once the movie had started and like the lights had gone down, he would come in and he would sit in front of you and he would rub your feet and play with your feet and like maybe suck on your toes if you said yes to it for extra money throughout the duration of this 2-hour film. Which I'm like, I love foot rubs. Please,
sounds
for the
great.
love of God.
Sign me up.
My only thing is like, I swear to God, if this person does this and then like bites off one of my toes, like we're gonna have words.
I need those. I need
but it was he would do that and then he would hand you cash.
I love.
And then leave as the credits are rolling. Then you could get up and go whenever you wanted.
I wonder how much he would pay.
At the time it was. Pay for the movie, pay for the snacks, $300 for the movie itself.
Goddamn.
And then if you would allow him to put your feet in his mouth, then he would do $500.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
All over that shit.
All over it. It is, I think it's one of the most commonly, like, side sex work things that women do. That's like, if you're not somebody that wants to, like, be on OnlyFans or...
Feet pics. Like, writing men's names with your toes.
Like, pretty harmless.
Yeah, it's harmless. And, like, people, like, there's a market.
People will pay.
There's a hell of a market for it, but it's something that people cringe at when you bring it up. And I don't get it.
Yeah. I've dated somebody with a foot fetish before, and that was the first, like,
I think they're fine.
Person I met that had one. And yeah, it was...
There's no kink and fetish shaming here in this realm. Like,
no.
Consensual and not hurting anyone, all good. Like,
yeah.
Solid.
Which, speaking of that, there's one that we talked about earlier, furries.
Furries.
And I feel like that is one that's, like, very stigmatized. When I first learned about it, was like...
Yes, we had a conversation.
What is this?
It's jarring. It is jarring, especially when you grow up as a child where, like, people wearing animal suits and stuff like that is, like, a costume, and it's a child, like, it's a childlike thing, and it's, like, supposed to be, like, safety, like Barney and stuff like that's what you equate it to, like, Muppets, like, you equate that to, like, wholesome, safe children, and then you bring in furries and you're like, oh my god, like, pedophilia, right? It's like, no, like, it's not the same. That's not what it is. We have several friends who are furries, but, like, they don't talk about it because it is so stigmatized. They have furry conventions, which I think are fun.
I saw some people going to a furry convention, like, I think a year and a half ago in Dallas, like, just walking down the street.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had seen furries, like, out in the wild, literally.
Yeah.
Like, not on the internet, but, like, out in the wild. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. People discriminate against them a lot because it is very outside of what our brains perceive as normal and okay. Again, that is a societal standard that has been set in our brains. That's why, like, BDSM is considered so fucking taboo, even though, like, it's pretty common, like, that people are into something that is in that realm. We just don't allow ourselves to think about sex like that, but that's another story. But furries, so I'm using a definition for this because obviously I'm not in this world, but furries are individuals who are especially interested in anthropomorphic, God, that's a word. Anthropomorphic or cartoon animals, and they often strongly identify with these animals and create fursonas, like a persona, identities of themselves as these anthropomorphic animals. It is a sexual orientation, but that it does not necessarily equate to sexual intimacy, if that makes sense. Like, they are attracted to being the persona, and in a lot of cases attracted to other people who are also in their personas.
Right.
I have friends who do have sexual practices within that because they are attracted to the other person, and then it just kind of identifies as that. I have a friend who is like, I am a lion.
That's just me.
And that's just me.
Yeah.
It is not, and in no way will be, and ever has been, the same thing as, like, bestiality.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Never will be. Never has been.
Yeah.
If you are of that mindset, you wrong. Okay. Yeah. Like, period.
It's obviously involving consenting adults, so it's never going to be the same.
Like, people practice, like, fursuiting. They will practice wearing costumes that, like, resemble these anthropomorphic animals. So it's not like... Some of them are, like, sexually motivated. They may be motivated by, like, an erotic target identity inversion, which is, like, sexual arousal by the fantasy of being the same kind of individuals to whom they are sexually attracted to. So, like...
It's interesting.
I am a femme woman, and I'm also attracted to a femme woman. Oh, I'm a furry, and I'm also attracted to a furry.
Yeah.
You also don't necessarily have to be attracted to other furries as a furry.
Yeah.
I could literally just be attracted to a furry.
Right.
And want to, like, engage in whatever play that is. And sometimes it's just, like, petting each other.
Yeah. I think it sounds like it's similar to me to, like, when people are engaging in age play, and, like, when they're in their little space, how some people, that is just the space they want to be in, and they want to engage in that non-sexually. And there are some people that engage in it sexually, but it is completely dependent on that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that orientation does not automatically mean that it's a sexual thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can kind of equate it to that.
Yeah.
Because I think, honestly, for this, it sounds like it's similar, like, from a safety aspect of, like, because people that, like, play in their little space, a lot of times that's tied to their identity so much that they don't want to involve, like, outside things. Like, they don't want to involve sexuality, and that's their safe space, which, again, it's like people engaging in this world. That's probably what it is for them, too. It's a way to express themselves differently, and they don't want that to interact with sexuality at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And a lot of people will keep it very separate from, like, their standard day-to-day life, too, which it breaks my heart because of the stigmatization around all of this and how people treat it as this, it's just they can't, it's taboo, but it's like another level to them. It's like extra stigmatized in my brain because of this. And maybe it's because I've had personal experience watching people suffer from people not understanding it. Like I said, I have a friend that's like, I'm a lion. Like, their furry lion is their thing. They have specific colors that are related to said lion. And, like, it's part of their identity in their real life. Like they get lots of little, like, lion statues and, like, collect things and like, they'll wear the colors that resemble that. And they have, like, a little lion bolo tie and stuff like that. And it's really cute. And it's very, very wholesome. And they're the nicest person I've ever fucking met. They also happen to work in education. And the problem around that is that they had their personal profile, and then they had what they thought was a very locked down furry profile in social media world. And in the education world, they had either students or parents of students that came across this furry profile and lost their fucking minds because they were teaching these kids.
The problem with, like, the world outside of kink and BDSM and alternative lifestyles is that these people sexualize everything we do.
But the thing is, he was not bringing that into the classroom. No. He wasn't discussing it. Like, there was nothing that would have equated his job to his interests.
Yeah. It's just a problem because I think even queerness in general is sexualized. Yeah. It's like nothing that we do can be seen as, like, anything other than sexual, which is just so false because, like, even within kink and fetishes and the world of BDSM, there are a lot of non-sexual elements that are at play within all of that. And, like, I think because there isn't a lot of education around this stuff, it's a fucking puritanical Christian society we live in. They are obsessed with sexualizing everything because they are repressed and obsessed with sex. Period.
But yeah, no, like there's some ones that are out of the box that, like, you can have fun with, and maybe if you've never heard of one of these and you're like, wait, that's a thing. Like, yeah, it's a thing. There's something for everyone. If you think it's something like it's outside of the box.
Have you heard of slime kink?
Like, what do you do with it?
Like, you literally, like, there's a kink that people have of either rolling around in slime and being completely covered in slime or watching other people do it. At the fetish ball last year, they had a slime bucket.
Oh,
for people.
Missed that.
I missed it as well.
Damn.
Yeah. But I heard about it later.
I love to play with slime. I don't know if I'd like it on me. Because I also don't like to be sticky.
Yeah, I don't like to be sticky either.
Yeah. Like, and that's just, like, in my day-to-day. Like, I don't, like, if I go to, like, an IHOP and the syrup on the table is, like, like, the outside of it, like, the handle's, like, sticky, I'm like, what?
Like, you hate it when it gets on your phone, like, anything sticky gets on your phone.
Yes, I have to clean it immediately.
Same.
So I don't know if that would work for me, but that's really interesting. I hadn't even heard of that one.
That one, and then another one that I know of is like blow-up pig suits.
Oh,
have you heard about that one?
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a kink where I would actually call this one a fetish. This one's probably more of a fetish of either dressing in a blow-up pig suit or watching other people dress up in that. And, like, they don't even have to do anything. I don't know if it has, like, a technical term for it, but again, I saw it at the fetish ball last year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's super cool.
Fetish ball was so fun.
We're going again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going again.
I know I won't be here. I'll be working.
Hate
Sorry.
that.
But yeah.
My kink is you not leaving town when important
There's
things
also
are happening.
like latex.
Well, yeah.
Like, it's a little bit more common in the norm when it comes to BDSM world, but like latex in and of itself, just like wearing it is a thing.
Yeah. Also, that kind of leads into the asphyxiation kink that we were going to talk about, because a lot of the asphyxiation. Oh my God, now
asphyxiation.
I can't say it. Asphyxiation.
It's like me with anthropomorphic.
Yeah, these words today are hard. But there are latex masks in the BDSM world that you can put on that completely cover your mouth,
or like
and your
zip
eyes,
up,
or zip up, and they can mimic the feeling of you like getting
suffocated. Yeah.
See,
I dig that. But I dig that. The asphyxiation. I'm particular about who gets to do it. Again, safety. I don't. How many times do I have to say it? Safety. If they're a first responder, it's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm fine. In my world, that's my like. Yeah, sure. But yeah, like that's not just asphyxiation, but like by latex, but like literally having your head covered with a bag, or being smothered with a pillow.
Yeah.
Or like having your mouth and nose taped shut.
Or being waterboarded.
Waterboarding is another one, which is also a form of torture. So like watch yourself with that one. Choking to the point of blackout is another one, which is very unsafe. I will tell you that now. It is very unsafe. It can do a lot of damage. So like don't
be careful.
Don't fuck around with that.
I think anything with breath play and asphyxiation is pretty dangerous. I wouldn't engage in any practices in that unless you were with a like professional dom who had done it many times before and knew what they were doing. Like, I won't even do it. I won't do that stuff with my wife because I'm like,
you're like, no,
love you, but no. I'll let you choke me for like 10 seconds and then
that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Even collars. Like if my collar is too tight, I get like panicky. Like I think I have a neck thing. Like I don't like anything around my neck.
I don't.
It's too tight.
Unless it's like on purpose. Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know if this is a kink necessarily, but I have this thing that I like really want when I'm like close to dying anyways. I want someone to just, like, kill me.
What?
In, like, a sexual way.
Okay.
Not in, like, a murder way. I mean, it would still be murder. It would be murder, but, like, sexually murder me. Like, if I'm about to go anyways, there's something hot about thinking about, like, the person that I love just, like, killing me. I don't know what that is.
That's fascinating.
I think it's extreme masochism.
Maybe.
That's why I brought it up on this episode. Because I'm like, this is definitely censor left kink. But yeah, there was one person I dated that I would always be like, when I'm close to dying, will you just murder me? And they'd be like, yeah, I'm into that. They were into it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know I'm not the only one. That's why I'm talking about it. But I'm like, I don't want to die of natural causes. I want to die because you literally fucked me to death and then
That's
killed
a natural
me.
cause, right?
I want to go out like Gone Girl, like killed that guy. God. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
This scene. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Gone Girl.
Just don't even worry about it. It's fine.
She's fine.
I'm fine.
She's fine. Anything else? Is there anything else that we missed?
No, I think
at least that's just off the top of my head. Yeah.
If there are any non-traditional kinks that you guys have or can think of, you can share them.
I love learning about new things.
What?
Share them to us.
Well, there's quite a few.
Our producer wanted to pause and share.
So,
what do you have?
What you got?
Expansion, which is like from like flat chested to like having enormous breasts.
I forgot about that.
Or a big
also,
ass.
the clamps
that pull you apart.
That pull your.
Oh,
I have those.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, just like spreading.
Wait, is it a kink of like somebody has the kink of they want to do that to themselves? Like they get huge implants?
It could be with implants, or it could be like almost like, ooh, something magical's happening. And, you know, like there's a lot of videos of people with like they'll look really modest and then suddenly they have giant tits.
Oh.
And it's like just it's the progression of that, and then being like, oh no, what's happening? That I just turned a lot of people on.
Oh no! My tits are becoming massive. I wish that would fucking happen
That's
to me.
actually amazing.
That's great. I've never heard of that.
There's also inflation, which is like, it's usually with a lot of like fan art and stuff like that, where they'll draw characters as giant balloon-like objects.
I've heard of this.
Then there's vor, which is like, you want to be eaten.
That's
I
you.
want to be eaten. Yeah.
And vor has a lot of crossover with like giantess, where it's like, oh, a giant person wants to eat you, and you're this puny little
Oh,
thing
you're the
that you have to
tiny
fend
thing.
yourself from.
Oh.
Wow. I think I have that.
Um,
I want to be eaten by a giant
yeah,
thing.
so like, they'll like step on you, or you'll be eaten by them.
Okay.
And a lot of it, I think a lot of it has to do when it comes to vor is like with the mouth sounds, kind of an ASMR thing. Like you're being swallowed.
Oh. This is super spicy. I've never heard of any of these things except for the balloon
be on
one.
this couch right now.
I've seen a lot of things.
We're gonna put this in the background, guys.
we're keeping
we like
this.
to learn things, and clearly we chose the right producer because he's a freak.
A freak. And now he's shy.
I'm not into any of that, but
You just know about it.
I
Just know about it.
To make it
I know more
clear.
than I want to know about it. That's for sure.
From your own spicy trauma, that's what you learned.
Damn.
Vor is interesting, which actually
I-
makes sense because there were also Craigslist ads about human flavored ramen. I shit you not.
I don't know if
It's giving
like
Dahmer.
cannibalism.
Well, no, but like people would probably like the idea that that could probably happen to them. So they would say yes to these ads, I'm assuming, because they would maybe be okay with the idea of it.
How does somebody make a human flavored ramen if they've never
Here-
eaten a human?
They've probably eaten a human.
Right?
Unfortunately, I think cannibalism is maybe a little bit more common than it should be.
I don't accept that.
To the fact that they know that people taste like pork. Because we most
Cannibalism is
closely
the one
resemble
thing
like
that I-
pigs in anatomy, which is why we dissect pigs. But
I don't even eat like animals, so I just can't even fathom eating a person.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, thank you.
But yeah, no, they would request that you come to the house. The house would be empty. I think this was like I feel like this was Craigslist killer recipe for getting murdered. But a recipe, get it?
Grandpa's grandpaing again.
Thank you. But they would have you come to the house. You would change into like your bathing suit or whatever you wanted that you brought, and then you go to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, there would be a tub already made of cooked ramen noodles with like the broth, like in it, and you would sit in the ramen noodles for like 3 hours, and then you get up and you go to the other bathroom and shower and change and take your money and go.
I would think I was going to get murdered.
Yeah, no, I'm convinced that it was just like a murder scheme, murder bath. But like they just wanted human flavored ramen.
So people are so interesting. And I'll leave it at that.
I'm like, if we taste like pork, you could have just like put some chashu in it and called it a day.
Yeah. Very
Right?
true.
Like,
I
I love ramen. Now I
Yeah.
want ramen. Why do I want ramen now?
I don't think I'll ever eat ramen again after that story.
You're welcome.
I think I'm done with ramen.
Guys, I shouldn't be allowed to be on the internet, I think.
No.
I'm learning too many weird things.
No. The internet is like a deep, dark place. I try to stay off of it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, social media and my For You page is very controlled, and I've never been on the dark web in my life because I'm scared of it. Terrified. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I do want to get murdered to death, but I don't want to know.
By someone you love.
By
She's not
someone I love.
inviting any serial killers.
Please don't.
Because you're like literally their type, so. Petite brunette. It's the most common.
Yeah, but they also, I've heard serial killers target people that are not like aware and confident.
That's true.
They like target people
More
that walk
timid.
like this. Yeah, I don't walk like that.
That's true.
I walk like I'm going to kill them.
Yeah.
And I would. So don't try me.
Guys, we send each other those like TikToks and videos where it's like the kidnapper and it's like, ooh, it's so forceful. We're like, the kidnapper can't do anything because they're just laughing the whole time. That would be us. We'd
It
be
would
like,
be us.
they'd hate us.
You guys know this. I have been saying since I was 11 years old, way too young to feel this way, that I wanted to be kidnapped. I have been saying.
I have had that happen.
By someone I love.
Because we've talked about this.
Yeah.
I've had it happen. Did you ever set that up?
I was in the middle of setting it up and then things happened. So I didn't. Yeah.
I mean, you could still set it up.
I definitely will someday when I am less like traumatized by life and I don't think I would die of a heart attack.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's time for Spicy Trauma.
Each week, we like to wrap up with our spicy trauma.
Tell us your spicy trauma. DM us or use the link in our bio to share your story.
So Bridget and I decided to come up with themed spicy traumas today.
And ours is basically the same.
And ours is basically the same story, but we're going to go with the theme of blood play, spicy trauma.
Yeah.
So Bridget, you want to kick it off?
Sure. So I mentioned in this episode that I had once upon a time dated. It was so short that like I don't even consider it a relationship, but like dated this person who was really into blood play. And specifically, like I said, like to track like the menstrual cycles. So that was like the thing, and the Red Wings was the thing. To me, I'm not really like huge on that. We've talked about this. It's like fresh blood versus like old blood. And I'm like, it's literally my uterine lining coming out. But like, okay, like if that's your thing, if it makes you happy, great. And frankly, when I'm on my period, my libido is spiked through the fucking roof. So it was like a win-win, whatever. I just didn't want to like look at you after, and I certainly wasn't going to kiss you after. Like that was my thing. So she would track it. There were two aspects that were like the trauma part for me, like not so much the actual act itself, but like to the point where she had in public, because like public sex I'm not like opposed to, pulled out the tampon just to suck on it. I heard Wolf cringe in the corner. I heard it.
I think he just threw up in his mouth.
A little bit. And I was just like, that was like the end. Like to me, that was the end. And on top, because I was like, what the fuck, right? Like they had never done that before. Which they were probably like, oh, this is like normal. Like it's the same as me going down. I'm like, no, it's definitely not the same as God. No.
It's
and also they have so many chemicals in there. Like don't do that. Don't do that. But like that. And I was just like, what the actual fuck? Like I was not, it was like one fell swoop within seconds. Like, oh my God.
They didn't ask you, they just pulled it out of you?
They just pulled it out.
What if you needed that for the rest of the day? What if that was your last tampon? And now you're just bleeding out. I
had probably made a comment like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom because I need to change my tampon or something like that. And then they were just like, I'll do it for you. Like, give me a snack while you go.
Wow.
I don't fucking know. Only to find out, that's not even the worst part, only to find out that when I was on my period, when I was over at their house and I would throw away like anything, they would keep them.
No, that's what I knew you were going to say.
Because you couldn't flush them in their toilet because they had a really bad, like, they had like a septic tank system and you can like actually flush anything. So you actually had to throw it away. And I like wrapped them up in toilet paper and throw them away. She would keep them.
Unsanitary. I can't even deal with it.
And I was like, I gotta go.
Break up with somebody.
Oh, I did. Yeah. It was literally that and me finding out that information were all within like the span of the same day.
Yeah, I know.
And I never talked to them again.
No.
I was like,
nope, some things are too far.
No.
Some things are too far.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And some people could. And hopefully she found somebody that loved that.
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she found somebody who was just as into that shit. But like, you gotta be aligned, my friends. And also like talk to me about it. Because if they had been like, hey, I want to take this out of you and like chew on it.
You would have said no.
I've been like, fuck, no, you're not. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no, thank you. I have had somebody pull a tampon out of me and put it in their mouth before, but it was in the comfort of my bathroom, not in public. And it wasn't much better, but I was kind of just like, ooh, okay. All right, I'm letting that moment pass. But they didn't like keep them or anything like that. Yeah. It wasn't like that intense.
Weird. It was weird.
Well, that's traumatic as fuck. I could live the rest of my life without hearing that story again.
I'm never saying it again.
Thank you.
You guys, this is it.
Me and Wolf have been traumatized enough. I'm about to give y'all another little trauma dose, though, because I have a tampon story of my own.
No.
So I was probably like 23 at the time, living in a little one-bedroom studio. Had a friend who was, I think she was 20. She was quite a bit younger than me and like pretty chaotic. She was like a new friend and I was kind of just like, I just moved to Dallas. I was like trying to make friends, whatever. And we went out one night and we ended up meeting some guys out. And at the time, I wasn't out yet, but I also was not dating men. I was kind of just doing nothing. And she really wanted to bring this guy back with us, and she was staying the night with me. So I'm like, okay, fine. Like, he can stay the night, whatever. I'm not doing anything with you guys, though. I don't want to sexually do anything.
I don't want to partake.
I don't want to partake. I have one bed. We can all be in the same bed, but like, I'm going to sleep. So I literally
don't want to fuck next to me, but don't touch me.
That's exactly what happened. He tried to pull me into it at one point.
Motherfucker.
And she like tried to kiss me at one point, and I was like, guys, I'm not doing this. I'm going to sleep. I'm so fucking tired. Please leave me alone. So they fuck in the bed next to me. Whatever happens. He leaves the next morning. She leaves the next day. Go about my life. I'm moving out of this apartment probably like 4 or 5 months later.
Oh no.
Yeah.
God.
And I am undoing the sheets, pulling up the mattress, all of that. And I find an old, bloody, shriveled tampon in her underwear that she shoved under my mattress and left there for months. And I had been sleeping on it every night for 5 or 6 months.
Because you like never move your mattress.
Because I know, when I raised my bed up to like grab my sheets, I'm not looking under it.
No.
I'm just grabbing my sheets and cleaning them. And when I tell you, I was livid. I also had stopped being friends with this girl at this point already because she was messy as fuck.
I would have mailed him to her.
I really should.
You should have mailed it to her.
I really should do that because she really just... I know she was probably drunk and not thinking about it. She's like, I want to fuck this guy. I need to put my tampon somewhere. But girl, clean it up the next day.
I'm sorry. That's like a core memory.
Yeah.
I had to take my tampon out and roll it up in my underwear and shove it under the mattress just so this guy wouldn't know.
Also, can I say, this guy was not worth it. Like, he was not, we won't even get into it, but no, it was just an all around no.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So tampon trauma should be the name of this episode because goddamn.
Tummy time. TT.
Tummy time and tampon trauma. TTTT.
Stands for multiple things. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. No.
What a doozy.
People don't get to get anywhere near my tampons anymore. So.
No. Also, you guys don't use Tampax. They have been found to have trace amounts of arsenic in them. Like very bad chemicals.
Literally like all of them.
I know, but
and the organic ones.
There's brands that I found that don't have the worst things in them that I use instead, and I get like no cramps.
Oh, good.
Now I had been using Tampax, and then I found this out and I stopped, and then I don't cramp anymore. So that's just a little side note. Don't use Tampax. Anti-brand for Tampax. Anti-commercial for Tampax. They're never going to pay us. If they eventually come around for a sponsorship deal, I never said any of this.
You're done.
You're done. I have to go.
You're done.
Make your money, girl.
Well, sorry to traumatize you and with that. But we love the fuck out of you guys.
We do.
Go forth and have a spicy, trauma-filled day. I certainly hope you have better experiences than those were. Be good.
It's just really turned into us trauma dumping as usual.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Yeah. We won't. We can't really help it at this point. We just can't.
There's literally not a good bone left in my body. It's all been stolen from me by Tampax. They're never going to give us a brand deal.
We're done. We're done.
If you like today's episode, follow us on social media at Trauma Bondage Pod. Follow Beth at Modern Day Lilith and Brigitte at Your Faith Femme.
If voyeurism is your kink, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trauma Bondage Podcast. Production by Instrumental Media. Editing by Misery Chord. Special thanks to D. Dumpy and Wolfstar for music.